Hey everybody, looks like we've got one person here, so welcome to the one person here. We'll see if anybody else comes in and joins here, and we'll get started. I'm just finishing getting everything set up, but I appreciate you stopping by, and oh, looks like we're getting some more, so we can probably just get started here. Oh, hey Mike, good to see you. Yeah, no problem. I'm glad you were able to stop by. Hey, I like doing live streams. I know you guys, like doing live streams and getting to learn what else is going on with crypto and all that, and, get my thoughts on some things. But, yeah, so if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave a live chat. I'm happy to try and answer them and get that going, but definitely interested to see how many people we get in the live stream today, because I know the channel's been growing a little bit over the last few days, which is nice to see. And I did get some advertising out for the channel, so hopefully that helps as well. But definitely cool. But as always, we're starting out here on the cryptocurrency heat map, and if you were here last week for the stream, you can already see that it's looking a lot better. I believe the last stream we were talking about what was going to happen when the Bitcoin options expired, and there was some thoughts that maybe it could drop down to in the 43,000 range, but now here we are. We were almost 60,000 this morning when I woke up, but Mike says, I want to look at the charts a bit and see, seems like we're reversing the recent correction. Yeah, I would say that is definitely what's happening. Let's see, trading, it would help if I could type. TRA, trading, wow. Let's just start over here, because I think it knows. There we go. You type a little too fast and it just has no idea what you're doing. But, alright, BTC to USD. What's a good one? Because I know some of these you look at them and they're just kind of messed up depending on the exchange you go with, but we'll just go with, let's go with the Binance chart here. Alright, full featured chart, and let's get it to candles, X, alright. Yeah, so I think we're definitely starting to correct a little bit here. You can see we're on the day chart, and you can see this was probably, this was in February, so we're in March. So this was the correction that we had, last week, where it fell down from, it was kind of, hit its all-time high here around 62,000, kind of bounced off this support here at 55, and then you can see it broke through and continued down right around to the 51,000, which if you were in the last stream, we talked about how the support was right around that 51,000, and if it was going to break below there, we would probably see it right around the 43 to 41,000 range. Luckily, it held that support, and we recovered. It went up nicely the last few days. We had one day of a little bit down here on the 21st, or I'm sorry, the 28th, but it's looking like it is starting to go up again, which is really nice to see. And again, kind of going off my limited chart skills here, you can see that we kind of got this little, kind of cap here. You can see that it kind of broke off up right in here, and this is where it was, starting to test for its all-time high, and then it did consolidate back down, and now we're, bounced off of that. So, in theory, if, whoops, oh geez, I hit the wrong button there. Alright, I guess we have to start over. I thought I was using an Adobe product and tried to use the spacebar to grab the graph. I don't know if anybody uses Adobe stuff, but you know what I mean by that. But, so let's start over here. At least we're not too far behind. But we get this one here, and you can see that if we were to drag this out, continuing with this, I don't know how to move the graph over so I can get more blank in this area. But as you can see, the support, if it continues to bounce off this line, we can see a 65,000. It's kind of hard to see up in the top corner there, but we could potentially, get up to 65,000, test that again, or, even closer to 70, 80,000, and it might drop back down. And again, we kind of have the lower supports here, let's see, let's get out of full screen, and this is kind of our support floor that you can see, you know, kind of keeping that in. It's starting to get a little bit, you know, a little bit skinnier over time. So it's definitely, you know, interesting. I think, there we go, that's what I was trying to do. It won't let me go up, but, okay. So you can see that it's kind of staying in this cone. You know, if it breaks out of this cone, we'll probably drop back down quite a bit. If it continues and, you know, kind of gets up out of here, we have a couple days of closing above this cone, then our prices will start to go up, and really we'll start to see some differences in the prices. So that's kind of my prediction here. And, you know, we can look at even like the hour chart, and you can see that changing to the hour chart, it's still in this cone. There's a significant amount more candles. Brian, hello, I see you said first. We're talking about the charts right now, but you can see that, you know, changing it to the hour, we had a little bit of breakouts down here, but within the day it kind of came back up, which we saw in the other graph, which is cool that it, you know, it applies to this, and we can see that the hours really mirror the same chart. And yes, it looks a little bit more condensed, but that's kind of, you know, what it's looking like here. So definitely cool. And one other one that we can look at here is the RSI chart, or the Relative Strength Index, which if we pull this up, I'll go ahead and change it back to the 1 day, because it's a little bit, wow, all right. So you can see here that, you know, when there's a lot of green, Bitcoin above here, it's being overbought. There's, you know, there's not as many coins. There's more people wanting to buy coins than there are people wanting to sell them. If it's in the middle of the purple, it's pretty balanced. And if it drops below, you can see that typically there's a lot of selling. So if we go over, here's one back on, what is this, March last year? This is March last year when the coronavirus was starting. You can see that it tanked way below here, and this day Bitcoin went from $7,950, and it closed that day at $4,860. A $3,000 swing in Bitcoin now is not the, not something crazy. You know, that happens, you know, every couple days, whether it's up or down. But, you know, back when it was $7,000, a $3,000 swing like that was pretty crazy. But, you know, look at where we're at now. You probably should have put everything you had into it. Went up quite a bit. Brian says, "Hey, love it, brother. God bless. Best crypto or best currency ever." Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you. I'm glad you liked the stream and liked the content on the channel. I'm glad you were able to stop by. Says you're mining towards your first goal of 1 Bitcoin. Hey, that's a great goal. I hope you can get there. I would love to have 1 Bitcoin myself, but it's going to get harder and harder. So the sooner you work on getting that started, the better, which is, hey, that's great that you're working on it now. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, make sure to leave a live chat, and I'd be happy to try and answer them, you know, to the best of my ability. Again, not the best with the charts, but, you know, we're getting better. Brian says, working with 3 3070s and a 3080. Now, Brian, how did you get those? If I could get any of the 30 series cards, I would, you know, I wouldn't even think about it, you know, at MSRP, because, you know, I can go out to eBay and buy one for a couple $1,000s, but, you know, I'm not going to pay $1,200 for a 3060 Ti. That's, you know, supposed to be MSRP at, like, what, $350, $400? But I guess, you know, hindsight, you should have bought the graphics cards back in September when they were released. But yeah, 3 3070s and a 3080. See, now I gotta know what that's gonna be making for you. So I gotta put that in, because that's a great setup. If you're new here, I don't know how much you've seen of my channel, Brian, but I have the 580 rig, 6 580s, and then I have a mixed rig with some 1660s and a 1060 as well. So definitely cool. But yeah, about $26 a day with that. I mean, that's great. You're getting, what, 265 mega hashes off those 3 cards. Yeah, that's really nice. But EVGA and BBQ launch day. Well, hey, you know, you had some good insight, and you know, the gamble you took there buying those cards really did pay off. I'm happy for you there. That's cool to see. Mike says amazing analysis, great insight. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Like I said, I'm not great with the charts, but you know, I understand the basics, so hopefully it translates a little bit. He said EVGA sold you a CPL extras to buy the Q. Now what? I gotta look up CPL because I think I know what that is, but oh, that's just going with something in Florida. Nice 280. Okay, wow. So you must have some good overclocks going. That's really nice. 280 mega hashes. So, but yeah, that's really cool. I hope you stick around on the channel and are part of some of the live streams in the future. I'm interested to see how your goal goes there, how it progresses in working towards that 1 Bitcoin. But so definitely cool. But yeah, like I said, if you guys have any questions, looks like we have 6 people on right now, so that's great. Oh, just changed to 7. Oh, Big Dirt, hey, how are you? Good to see you here. Glad you were able to stop by. Again, if you guys have any questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, definitely let me know in the live chat. I'm happy to answer and kind of go over that. But like I've said before, these live streams don't really have too much of a plan or anything. It's just whatever anybody wants to talk about. But Mike, thank you. Yeah, like I said, it was just a cold. I don't know what happened, you know, wearing the masks and all that, but I still got a cold. So, but yeah, nope. Feeling better this week, but you know, tried my best to keep up with YouTube and all that in the live streams last week, but definitely cool. But Brian said, indeed, I do, and I'm making about the same as you. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's cool. You're making a little bit more if you've got 280 mega hashes. You know, depending on what you pay for power. This says you're supposed to be making right around $28 a day before power, so that's definitely cool. What do I think about BNB? I don't really have an opinion on it. I think it's a good coin. I mean, it's Binance. They're a huge exchange. They're super popular. I've used the exchange in the past, and it doesn't surprise me that it's gone up this much in value because, you know, Binance provides a ton of services, and it's a really well put together exchange. I don't own any BNB, and I don't plan to, but okay, I meant BCH. Okay, let's go back here. I think that's Bitcoin Cash, I think, right? BCH. Yeah, Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash. I have less to say about that than I did about Binance Coin. Okay, and you said you're making 25 to 30 a day. So you're making a little bit more than me. You right around $22, $23 a day. But Bitcoin Cash, I had some of it back when the original fork happened, and you could get some, but I don't have any anymore. I don't really know too much about this coin, what's going on with it, what the idea is behind it, if there's a project goal, how the team is. I don't know much about it, but yeah, I would say it's it's still up there on the coin market cap. I don't know if it says 11 here, so I mean it's up there, but I don't have any of it, and I don't plan to get any of it because I know there was a lot of drama that happened when this originally forked back, that might have been 2017, 2018, I remember that, but I don't personally plan to get any of it unless there's a faucet or something like that that's paying out in Bitcoin Cash. But yeah, Binance is. I would buy Binance Coin over Bitcoin Cash. I'll say that. I think Binance Coin, has the ability to continue going up steadily. Is it probably going to make you rich overnight? Probably not. But I mean, you can see over the course of a few nights here, you could have made a pretty good return on your investment. So I don't know if we'll see a huge spike like this again, but so definitely interesting. But you said it's only going to go up until the halving. Okay, yeah, so like I said, I don't know much about Bitcoin Cash, so I didn't know there was a halving coming up. But yeah, that is something to keep an eye out on because, if you look back at the history of Bitcoin, let me just pull up this chart. Let's go back and look at the Bitcoin chart. Well, let's see, how far will this let me go back? Okay, so this goes back to 2013. So you can see here, right around here was the first halving. It's kind of hard to see. I don't think it'll let me zoom in. Let's go 4/27/2013. Let's just put in 2014. See if that works. If this works as smoothly as I hope. Yes, it did. So here you can see the first halving. Okay, you get some more chats here. It said, about Ethereum, I dabbled with it. I believe in it and its purposes. No, BTC, lol. I'm not sure what you mean by no Bitcoin, but what I was saying here is if you look at the history of Bitcoin, because, Bitcoin was the first one, and it's kind of what dictates what's going on in the market, whether you like it or not, you can see having it, spiked up, and, it kind of settled back down over the next few years. If I refresh this, hopefully it takes me back to the full year. But, yeah, so then you can see after 2017, there was another halving in here. I'm not sure when that was. It might have been right in here. But 2017 halved, and it fell back off, consolidated for, 3 or 4 years. And, well, last year we had a halving, and here we are, another big bull run. So when it continues to have like that, I wouldn't be surprised if by, this time next year, Bitcoin's, settled down to a price. Now, that price is going to be determined on how high it keeps going. If it's not gonna, if this is the top, it's not gonna pass 60,000 again, then I would say I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin, settled back down to right around 40,000, 35,000, or maybe even in the lower 30s. And it did that for the next few years, maybe fell into the 20s, kind of bounced around there, and then at the halving, it goes up again. Now, of course, if Bitcoin keeps going up and, gets to $100,000, then, maybe it'll settle down to 80,000 or something like that. It's hard to say, but yeah, Bitcoin definitely does control the whole market. I mean, you can see here just looking at the heat map, Bitcoin 2.1% up here, big green. Majority of these are all green. There is some red in like the POS area, and Ethereum tokens, but Ethereum's up, ADA, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Binance, File. So I mean, it really does control the market, and that's why, whether you like Bitcoin or not, whether you have it or not, you want it to go up, because if Bitcoin goes up, so is everything else, and if everything else is going to go up, that's going to increase the chance that the small coin that you have is also going to go up. So it's not set in stone, but it is kind of how it works, at least up until now. So Brian says over 100K by the end of this year. I predict, could be wrong, of course, but I agree with you. I would not be surprised if we are over 100,000 by mid-July. That's my opinion. Not financial advice or anything, but it wouldn't surprise me. I think we have I think we have the full potential to get that high. Brian says, I appreciate the one-on-one interactions. Hey, I mean, if other people want to have some chats here, questions, comments, topics, feel free to put them in the chat. But until then, it looks like Brian and I are just having a one-on-one here. But yeah, it's definitely it'll be interesting to see where everything goes. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw $6,000 to $10,000 Ethereum. I think Litecoin easily has the potential to be $1,000. Dogecoin, we've talked about it before. I think it could, go up to, 10 cents, 15 cents. Bitcoin would have to go a lot higher for that to happen. But Crypto Mining Noob, good to see you. Glad you could stop by. He says it's amazing to me how much Bitcoin, NASDAQ, the S&P 500 graphs are similar in comparison. Look at the graphs and you'll be amazed. That is very true. Cryptocurrency and Bitcoin... cryptocurrency and Bitcoin are, supposed to be decentralized, but they're not. It's becoming more and more controlled, and it does still mirror what is going on in the traditional financial markets. That is what's happening. So like we saw on this chart here, back in March. Oh, I'm sorry, it was this one. Back in March. All right, I don't want to join. we'll just open a new one. That seems to be the way around it. Back in March, it fell off by quite a bit here. And if you go look at, this is what, March 12th of 2020. Let's pull up S&P. I'm pretty sure, yeah, S&P. SP 500? There it is, SPX. That's what it is. Mike, you said, can you respond to my 658 comment? I'm not sure. I don't get timestamps on the comments here, but you had said, glad to hear your voices back. I thought I touched on that. I said thank you. I appreciate the concern. I think it was just a cold, but it's gone now. So definitely nice to have that gone. But I'm sorry if I missed that. I thought I touched on it there back when you first put it in. If that's the 658, because I don't get timestamps, so I apologize if I missed that. But going back here to, what was that? I forgot the date. That was March 20th or something. I think it was March 20th. So if we go March 20th here. Oh, all right, come on now. We're right around in here. Oh, that's October. February. Right in here is February, March, when S&P fell off, quite dropping down because the coronavirus happened. And you look at like the Dow Jones, Industrial, S&P. I mean, you can even look at individual stocks. I mean, if you were to look at things like Apple, Tesla, or even like companies that were hit harder, like I can't think of, like American Airlines, the airlines, the hotel industry, all of that is going to mirror these drops, but that's definitely interesting. So, Scott, hello, nice to see you. No worries about not saying hello first, but have you ever thought about quitting faucet? Are you saying like stopping, to stop using faucets altogether? I don't plan to, if that's what the question. And hello, George. And Mike says, LOL, it was the other comment. The one about the analysis. Again, I thought I touched on it, but again, I may have missed it. There were more chats coming in, but I appreciate the support on the analysis. Let's see here. Quitting faucets. I don't think so, because in my opinion, while they don't, I fully agree with a lot of the comments that I get on some of the YouTube videos is why use these? They only pay out a few cents, it's not worth your time, all of that. Well, if you think about it like that, it's not worth your time. But, I've been claiming in faucets since early 2015. But, you said, it keeps getting deleted. What, if it's got a link in it, it might get deleted. I don't know, if there's a link in it, maybe try typing the link with a space and then .com, or just put, the link .com, and I'll type in the dot if that's what you're trying to do. But, I've been claiming in faucets for over 5 years now, almost 6 years, and back then I was getting thousands of Satoshis a claim. I was getting 10,000 Satoshis every hour from Bitcoin, or free Bitcoin. I mean, that's just crazy now. 10,000 Satoshis. I mean, at today's price, that's $5.88 an hour. So, although I'm not getting that same amount now, it's gone up in value so much. So if you continue claiming from faucets and just hold on to it, it's most likely going to be a lot more worth your time in the future. Faucets are not something to get rich overnight, and for me, faucets were something that allowed me to get into cryptocurrency completely risk-free. All I was using was my time. I already had a device that connected to the internet, I already had internet, and I already had power. And I mean, that's very lucky for me. I know there are people in the world that don't have that, but I didn't have to go out and invest money into cryptocurrency to get started. And that's what I really like about faucets. So I don't plan to ever stop using them. I mean, if something better comes up, I'm not going to be opposed to it, but who knows? I mean, that's kind of my thoughts on it. But Mike says, I asked if you still use Coins PW faucet. Oh, all coins, yeah. I noticed they got rid of the Digibyte faucet. I have not been on there in a while. I did use them quite a bit. Let's see, all coins. Yeah, here it is. This may have some ad pop-ups, though. Now that I think about it, it might be best to not go on here on on the stream, because some of these faucets have pop-ups that are somewhat not friendly for the live stream. So I'll stay off of there for now, just because I can't edit in live time. But I haven't been on there in a while, to be completely honest with you. There are other faucets that are a little easier to use, in my opinion. Like I said, that one has pop-ups and stuff like that. I really like free Bitcoin. I would say, going back to Scott's comment a little bit and tying it in with yours, Mike, I don't use faucets as much as I used to, because there are other ways of making cryptocurrency that I have now. But for the people who are new and maybe weren't here on the old channel, or if you didn't know, I basically got my whole start in cryptocurrency on faucets. I have never invested any money into cryptocurrency whatsoever. I've never bought Bitcoin. I've never bought Litecoin. It's all been faucets, some referral bonuses, and then taking that and investing it into, cloud mining sites, interest earning coins, staking coins, masternode coins, stuff like that. I built my first mining rig back in 2017 off of the profits that I had from collecting from faucets and cloud mining sites, and built a mining rig off of it. When it spiked up to right around, I think I sold a significant amount of the coins that I had at the time, right around $18,000. And I built my mining rig, got all the parts and the GPUs, and now I have the mining rig, which makes me money every day. So, he said that's fair. I only use faucets to try trade. I guess I'm confused on what to try trade means. If you're just trying like new coins and stuff, I mean, yeah, that's definitely cool. And then I know some faucets offer the ability to trade coins in them. I would say the faucets that I still use right now, I have the free Bitcoin faucet. I have Ninja faucet, which I did a video on this week. I have Fire faucet, which I'm going to be doing a video on tomorrow. You'll see a video on that tomorrow morning. There's probably some other faucets I can't remember. I have them open on another browser, but those are the main faucets I use. And I've used quite a bit of faucets, and I've kind of narrowed it down to the best paying ones are the ones that I use. But I was replying to some comments on the channel today and in Discord, and people were asking, is the faucet collector bot worth it? Yeah, I did a video on that this past week. That is one of the best ways that you could spend $12 in cryptocurrency, in my opinion, right now, because you're going to spend $12 and you can set it up on literally hundreds of faucets, and you would make your $12 back in a matter of days, depending on how many faucets you set up on there. So that's my thing, is I really like faucets. I don't think I'll ever stop using them, but I do use them less now. Mike says, got it, thanks. Any updates on the availability of cloud mining sites? I am working on a video for cloud mining sites, but it is kind of hard to do because cloud mining sites, like everybody else in crypto, can't get hardware. If you can't go out and get GPUs, neither can the cloud mining sites. Stuff like that. So cloud mining sites, while there are legitimate ones out there, they're legitimate, and you can't invest in them because they have no mining power to give away. And that's why it's kind of taking a little while. But I do hope to have a cloud mining site video within the next, couple days, but I'll keep you posted on that. George says, wait for the next bear market to start accumulating coins from faucets. That is 100% true. That is a great way to put it, George, because, yeah, faucets are great when it's cheaper because they pay out more coins, and while you're still earning roughly the same amount of US dollars, or, whatever your fiat currency is, you're going to eventually get more as it goes up in price. And I saw a tweet on one of the Bitcoin trending things on Twitter, and it said, if you are more concerned about the Bitcoin price in US dollars or whatever your fiat currency is, then you're not really in cryptocurrency, because you should only care about how many coins you have or how many Satoshis you have, because when it goes up in value, that'll be better. So, when it drops off, you should be really excited to go claim from faucets because you're going to be getting more coins. So that's a really good way to put it, George. But Big Dirt, I can definitely do that. Do a video on the best faucets. I can definitely get working on that. I know there are quite a few faucets out there, and you know, I could make a 4-hour video on faucets because there's so many that are technically they're paying, they're trusted, but they might not be worth it in my opinion, because you know, I don't really want to recommend a faucet to everybody that only pays you out 3 or 4 satoshis a day. To me, that's not worth it at all, unless it was you know paying quite a bit in other ways. Because I've used faucets that only allow you to claim once a day, and while that once a day claim might be 50 cents, is it really worth your time when you could, you know, go to Free Bitcoin and get 12 cents an hour? Say you did that for 12 hours a day, you've already, you know, doubled your profit on the faucet. Yes, it took longer, but oftentimes they don't pay out that much. So I'll definitely get working on that though, and I'll try and, you know, pick out the best ones that I use. And all of that. But Scott says, oh, sorry, I meant to start trading on websites like Binance Trading 212. I should have been more specific. Hey, no worries. But yeah, no, definitely getting some coins, and then that's, you know, working your way up. I mean, you have to start somewhere, whether you're investing in crypto, collecting from faucets, you know, mining on your gaming rig when you're not playing games. Those are all great ways to get into cryptocurrency. And like I said, I got my start with crypto through the use of faucets, and while that isn't as easy now, it's still very possible. And I personally, you know, in my own experience over the last 6 years, I've talked to, you know, friends that I've had, you know, before cryptocurrency and all that. I said, hey, I'm working on this thing. I think you should get into it. I think you'd really like it. You like computers. And they say, oh yeah, that's great, like send me a referral link, I want to help you out, I want to get into this, sounds great. You know, they do it for a couple days and, you know, get bored of it. I continued with it through the whole, you know, through it going up, going down, and collected enough over time to eventually invest in sites like EOBot and Hashflare. Those are 2 cloud mining sites. EOBot's gone now, but Hashflare's still around. I remember when I bought my first contract on Hashflare was probably 6 months roughly after I had started claiming from faucets, and it was 100% faucet money. I think it was a $30 contract that I bought for, I think it was right around 200 or 300 gigahashes of Bitcoin mining power, which at the time took my $30, and I was making, you know, 50 cents a day off of that, plus what I was making from the faucets. And then, you know, when I found EOBot, took those and you know, invested in EOBot, which was a much easier site to get going on because you didn't have to have a large sum of money. You could have had, you know, 20 satoshis and they would have sold you you know, 5,000 satoshis of a gigahash, which was a really cool program they had. And EOBot was really a great site for me to help build up, to be able to invest in other sites that were, you know, a little bit more expensive. So it's definitely still possible, you know, just with the determination. And depending on what your job is, or, you know, what you do during the day, if you're on the computer, most of these faucets have a feature that you can, you know, check a box and it'll play like a bell when the timer runs out. And when, you know, you hear the bell, you just switch tabs for, you know, 30 seconds, fill out the robot thing and click claim. You know, 30 seconds every hour is not bad, especially if you're already on the computer. So that's kind of my way of looking at it, but hopefully that, you know, kind of helps with the faucets and cloud mining sites and all that. I was pretty sad to see EOBot go away because they were a very trusted company. You know, they had pictures of their mining rigs right on the website. They were helping people, you know, earn crypto, and they had a really cool program where if you had a certain amount of gigahashes, you could actually trade your gigahashes and they'd send you the ASIC machine. So then it was yours. You could run it at home. So that was a cool program. I have not seen that on other sites yet. I mean, trusted sites, we'll say it like that. But definitely sucks to see them go. But, you know, things happen. Cryptocurrency is very different than it was 5-6 years ago. So definitely interesting. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, we've had a pretty good amount of people. We've still got about 7 in here right now. So I appreciate everybody for stopping by. You know, some of the names are starting to look more familiar, and I see, like, I know Mike comments on almost all the videos. Big Dirt, I saw you commented on the one about Ninja Faucet. So I appreciate the support both on the streams as well as on the pre-recorded videos. So we're, we're about just under 400 subscribers, which is nice. We're making some good progress on the channel, so I'm happy to see that. And I mean, I appreciate it because, without your support, it really wouldn't be possible to, grow the channel at the rate that it's going now. So hopefully it continues going up as, we continue doing live streams and get more subscribers and all that. But yeah, again, if you guys have any questions, comments, topics, anything you want to talk about, feel free to leave it in the live chat. I'll go ahead and turn up the music here, and if anything comes up, feel free to put it in the chat. Yeah, George, I see you asked about the an update on Rollercoin. I can bring that up here real quick. I don't have too much to update on. I did a video the other day on this, and it's still, if you watch that video, we're still at the same spot. I actually haven't been on the site yet today. You can see I still have to recharge, but I still have the same amount of miners, and I have right around 3.5 petahashes, almost 3.6, I guess, kind of getting close, but I'm now mining 100% the RLT coin, and the reason I decided to do that was I already have some Bitcoin on the site, which I'm planning to withdraw. I filled up the room with these racks, which is the item in the store here that requires Satoshis. So I figured what I'd do, fill up this room with racks, withdraw what I have in Bitcoin off the site. Just say, you know what, take that as my profit. That helps out. We're good to go. Mine the RLT. So over time, I can buy more of these, probably by the time I can afford more, it'll be these Dream Demolishers. And these are going to be the best deal because I'm guessing these are probably going to go away. This might, if it stays, this will probably be a better deal. But, if these go away with the promotion, we'll have to see. But my plan is to mine the RLT and bring these, start to fill these racks up. And, I believe it's, 20 to 25 miners I have here to purchase before I run out of space. And at that point, then what I have to do is buy another room, which again is 20 RLT. So most of the things on the site require the RLT. So I figured what I do is just mine that straight, continue to upgrade, the operation, and then when I get to this point and buy this room, what I'll do is just go ahead and switch it back to mining half and half, Bitcoin and RLT, collect some Satoshis to buy some racks, and once I fill up this room with racks, I'll just go ahead and, go back to mining just RLT to build up the speed again. So, George, you said if you have a miner and don't play games, are you still earning? Yes, you are still earning. Basically what the games do is it gives you power. So if you have no miners, you're going to have no power. You can go and play games and start to earn gigahashes, which allows you to get more Bitcoin or RLT. Once you have a miner, whoops, that was not what I meant to click. Once you have a miner, your gigahashes run as long as you have power. You have to come on at least once a day and recharge. It has 5 days of cooldown. If you don't come on the site for 5 days, you will stop earning. So that's something to keep in mind. And that's, that's part of the site to keep you coming back. So right now, I could, never play another game again. And as long as I come on the site at least once a day and recharge, I will be earning this much RLT roughly every 5 minutes when I get the block reward. So the miners really build up your speed a lot quicker than the games, but the games are there so you don't have to invest, because you can go ahead and deposit Bitcoin and convert it to RLT and buy miners right away. But if you don't want to deposit and want to do it completely like a faucet and just get your start, no investment, no risk, that's what the games are for. So hopefully that kind of helps. But Mike, you said, how much do I expect Bitcoin to fall in the next bear market? Kind of like what we were talking about before, that's going to be determined on how much higher it goes. Again, using the analogy of, right here is the top, it's not going to get any higher than, 62,000. I would not be surprised if it settled, right around 30,000, 30 to 35,000. I could see it dropping into the 20s. I would be pretty surprised if it fell below 20,000. I would say probably, realistically, if this was the top, it could probably fall to right around 35,000, and that would be its kind of level out area. Now, if something else was to happen where, it lost a lot of value again, kind of like what we saw in March, then it might fall back down below 20,000. But it's really hard to say, just because, if it, we could wake up tomorrow and it could be $70,000. Well, at that point, then I would say it's probably going to only fall, maybe to 35 to 40,000. And again, that's completely just based off of a guess, pretty much, because it's kind of hard to see in the charts here to kind of predict that. We kind of had a support here right around 30,000, so that's kind of why I would think it could, I would say realistically stabilize around 35, but the support would be right around 30,000. If it breaks through there, we might fall down to 22, where we had a little bit of support here, and then again falls down. We're in the 17,000. So it's going to be these supports is what it's going to be. Is if it breaks through there, that's where it's going to become an issue. And you can see we have our support right now looks to be right around 51,000, which is where it won't fall right here. So next one down is right around the 44,000. And then down here we have 30,000. So it's going to depend on how much higher it goes, I guess, is really what the whole thing is going to come down to. So hopefully that kind of helps answer. Again, that's more of a prediction. Nothing's set in stone, but still definitely interesting. And, I think a lot of people are going to freak out when that happens, because you wanted to ask how much do I expect BTC price to fall by the next bear market? So do you mean before it starts or during the bear market? I guess I'm a little confused on what the question is, because I would say back in the bear market here, if you're talking about let's see if we can do months. Does that work? How far back does this go? Not far enough. Seems like the chart is delayed a little bit. Oh yeah, it might be. Depending on, I'm using the Binance US trading pair, BTC to USD, so that's the chart that I'm using, which is, it's different for everyone that you look at. Yeah, the Fibonacci Golden Pocket. I've heard of that. I don't know much about it. Like I said, I don't usually do a lot of price predictions, because, some people will get the wrong idea and, take that to heart, and then they, you might lose some money. But let me do this, CoinMarketCap. Once this loads here, because I know this will show us a little bit better. Everything's in light mode today. Looking back here, if you were saying, right around $17,000, it fell. If you would say this was the bear market here, it fell from 17,000 to, didn't we just have a price? Oh, 10,000. The decimals threw me off. $10,000. Then it dropped to 7, and then it continued falling off a little bit. So it's hard to say. I realistically don't see it, dropping much further than $30,000 in the next bear market, but, who knows? We saw it drop. It halved its price back last year this time because of the coronavirus. So, if something like that, hopefully it won't, but, if something like that happens again, I wouldn't be surprised. And seeing what everybody's seen now, like I was saying, I think a lot of people are going to get scared, going to get upset, when the next bear market comes, because it's not an if, it's a when, and it will eventually come. And the people that are out there spending thousands of dollars on graphics cards and thousands of dollars on ASIC machines, that's a pretty big risk. Even if it says, based on the numbers, this will pay itself off in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. I mean, it seems like a good investment, but where is Bitcoin going to be in 4 months? Is it going to be $58,000, or is it going to be $30,000? Is it going to be $100,000? It's like up here what Brian was saying. He bought 3070s and 3080s at launch in September. He didn't know that it was going to be, almost $30 a day in profit, 4 months later. It's a risk you have to take, and if there are people out there taking really big risks, especially paying over MSRP for these cards. So, because, once the bear market comes, mining's going to be less profitable or unprofitable for some people. And I would say, within a few weeks of Bitcoin mining and Ethereum mining being not profitable, you're going to be able to buy, 3080s, 3090s at or below MSRP very easily on eBay. And, they're going to be, retired mining cards, and, gamers don't think that they, you don't want a retired mining card. It's going to be dead. And if you want more information on that, Linus Tech Tips has a video on testing the performance from a card that was mined on for a good period of time compared to a new card. And while it was a little bit of a difference, it was almost unnoticeable. And assuming that the previous owner, took good care of them, good cooling, good cleaning, there's nothing to worry about. I'm currently, the computer that's running this live stream is using the 1060 that I bought in 2017 and mined on for 3 years. So, I mean, it's running just fine. So, that's just kind of how it works. I mean, you can see here it's 26% used. It's the 1060 here, and I did have a better card in here, but I switched it out to mine with the other one. But I take I'll take a little bit slower render times. It's sometimes annoying doing some of the video editing, but this is kind of the trade-off. I'd rather mine with the better card and take the 1060 and the main desktop that I run the channel on and the business on. So definitely my decision, but I have nothing bad to say about mining, especially if they're taken well care of and all of that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, though. And with how Bitcoin recovered from this last consolidation and the correction there, I would not be surprised if this week we see new all-time highs, 65,000, 70,000. Wouldn't surprise me. I would say it's probably more likely than it falling back off again, but 2 weeks from now we could be sitting back at 50,000. So it's all over the place, and it's really hard to predict. But I think someone mentioned here earlier, Crypto Mining Noob said, look at S&P 500 and Dow and NASDAQ and all that. If they're going to go up, so's Bitcoin. And if they're going to go down, so's Bitcoin. And like I said before, if Bitcoin goes up, so does everything else. If it goes down, so does everything else. So it's all connected somehow. But definitely it'll be interesting to see how it goes and what happens to the people who are spending, $3,000 for a 3080 right now on eBay. But like I said before, if right now, even though EIP 1559 is coming and all that, if I got the opportunity to buy any of the 30 series cards at or just above MSRP, I would definitely get as many as I can, up to about 6 or 12. I would realistically, I could see myself replacing all of the cards that I have right now with a 30 series card if I had the opportunity, but that's still a very big risk, and that's why I'm not going to do it unless I can get it for right at MSRP. And it depends on the card too. I'm not going to buy 12 3090s because at MSRP that's $12,000, which geez, that would be nice, but no. So I mean, even then it would probably be 3060s would replace 12 of them, but 3060 Ti's at least. But hopefully that kind of helps out with some of the questions you guys had. If there's anything else, feel free to leave a comment. We've got 6 people here still, so I appreciate everybody for showing up. Um, the streams seem to be a little bit more popular each time, so I'm hoping, as the subscribers build, we can get more people in the streams, which will help the channel and help grow the community. The ultimate goal is to get back to where we were on the old Bitcoin tips, because at this point, it's not coming back. Which sucks, but oh well. I guess what can you do? But I'll hang out here for a little bit. If anybody else has anything else they want to talk about, feel free to leave it in the chat. Well, it looks like that is most of the questions and topics for tonight. I haven't seen anything else come in, so we'll probably wrap this up here. Again, I appreciate everybody for taking some time to come by and hang out for a little bit. Hopefully it was informative for you guys and enjoyable. Like I said, I like doing live streams, and I think it's not really helping out for the YouTube partnership part. It doesn't look like the watch hours that I get from the live streams count, but I still like doing them. I think it helps out the channel, building the community and stuff like that. So I'm still doing some research into what makes the partnership possible, but I appreciate everybody. Like I said before, I recognize a bunch of names here, both from previous streams as well as comments. So I appreciate it, Mike. No problem. Like I said, I enjoy doing the streams. I'm glad you guys like them. And I like, getting to talk with you guys and see what everybody likes. But yeah, George, see you next week. We may try and do one this weekend. I don't really know what I'm going to be doing this weekend, so maybe Saturday or Sunday. We'll see, but I wouldn't count on it, so I don't know. It might be a kind of an impromptu one, just to see if more people join, different people, stuff like that. But other than that, again, thanks for coming in and hanging out. And yeah, if not this weekend, I hope to see you guys next week, and I hope to see you in the next couple videos throughout the rest of this week. So, other than that, have a nice rest of your day, and I guess we'll be back on